Hello all, Neon Dreamers here with a rant, and since I'm going to be ranting, I'll be using a different icon, which will be the Cheshire Cat from Pandora Hearts. So let's begin, shall we? This rant is going out to someone in England who's created Mary Sue for the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom. Now I'm not one for Yu-Gi-Oh much anymore. I grew out of the series and moved on a while ago. But I have to say, this particular character has not changed in a year no matter how many times the fanfic writer claims she's going to change her. So I figured why not rant about it. I've been following this girl on Quizilla for about a year now. She's been banned twice from the site for harassing other users who try to give her collective criticism, or call her out on art theft issues. Death threats to multiple users have also aided her being banned. She has moved into another account called Cursed X Soul. It is here where she claims she's changing her character. Now I called her out on the Mary Sue characteristics several times before, as did my friend Chaotic Rainfall. She never listened to us at any point in time. It took her 2 times getting banned to make her realize that change might be for the better. Then she gives me a message back claiming she likes her character the way she is. I'm kind of getting off topic here. The real reason I want to rant was for the supposed change. She added a weakness, one weakness, no additional flaws, no flaws at all, no consequence to the power she uses. And trust me, I'll be hitting the power things really hard in this rant. No added character development, still has an overly tragic past, and has added nothing at all, just one weakness: water. Now this weakness would be fine and dandy if it went explained, but she gives none, even when I asked her about it, how it affects her character. She ignores my question and keeps telling me that she did change her. As a phobia, it wouldn't do much. Phobias hold people back in everyday life, yes, but that doesn't make the character weak. What makes her so weak? Do I throw water on her? Does it melt when it happens? If it goes unexplained, the weakness is next to illegitimate. It has no purpose at all. I'll give you an example. I'm co-writing a fanfic with my best friend Blood-Drenched Feathers. She's Blood-Soaked Feathers on YouTube. Her character Monica is very protective of her friend Ednid, which is my character. If Ednid or anyone else close to Monica were to become hurt or killed by someone else, and she had witnessed the act or found out who it was, Monica would go into a fit of rage and attack the other person, regardless of the threat or if she would die. In turn, Ednid would be Monica's weakness. That is a legit weakness, because Monica is so close to Ednid, she would lose sight of everything and everyone around her if Ednid was to be hurt. A weakness has no purpose if it's just there to be an excuse to make your character less of a Sue, which doesn't help in the case. This user wants everyone to think that she's changed for her character, but it's not true. Let me tackle the powers now. Cursed Soul's character is a witch, or a Wicca. Either one. I've never really figured out the difference. Well, there's an obvious difference, but she doesn't make it clear on how the difference is. But that's beside the point. The character has a Yami, and a new Millennium item from nowhere that's fan-made, and has little to no explanation behind it, that gives her powers. These powers literally include healing on the spot, binding spells to keep them from running away from her, fireball spells, and she can even make things levitate. Oh, did I mention she has a dragon form at one point as well? Not to mention that these spells she casts are never explained. She mutters an incantation, and it just happens. I kid you not. That's all there is to it. She has done no research whatsoever, apparently. My point is that this character has all of these powers, and she can use at her will and has no consequence in return. I'm not saying powers can't be used in a story, but I think they should be limited. I'll go back to Enid again. Enid has a power. She can heal people. However, her powers are very limited since she has a low-level chi, or life force. She can't use these powers often or she risks killing herself in the process of helping another. Because of this direct consequence, she doesn't want to use her powers. She fears what might happen if she does. Later on down the road in the story, she steadily becomes more confident about using them, but she prefers the idea of natural remedies instead of direct healing. Her power has a consequence, and she is limited to using them, whereas Cursed Soul's OC does not. She uses spells and powers willy-nilly to get what she wants. She's not just a Mary Sue at this point, she's also a god mod. She's also used these powers to destroy several characters within the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom and to control people in her RPs. And to the tragic past. Cursed Soul's OC has a father who tries to kill her for some reason. I don't know, she's too powerful or something along those lines. It's never really explained. Her father is a witch, or a warlock, or some kind of sorcerer. Don't know about that either. It's gone unexplained as the rest of this character has. Getting to the point, her father tries to kill her because she is more powerful than he is and will be nothing but trouble, or something like that. He doesn't want her to surpass him, so the most logical idea, have an attempt to kill the kid. Of course that wouldn't work because her OC can't die. Not at all. Instead, she burns her father alive and lives with the idea that all parents are the same and don't care about their kids. Such angst. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind tragedy in pasts. Let's face it. Even in the real world, we all face some kind of tragedy in our lives. It's normal. It's a tragic past without good reason for the OC to work with. That really ticks me off. So since this is really going regular, let me give you an example using another one of my OCs from another co-written fanfic between myself and Blood-Drenched Feathers. Silver is her name. She's an OC for an Assassin's Creed fanfic called Feel Alive. Silver is forced to become a Templar within the story due to her bloodline. Her grandfather had been a Templar, and when he passed, someone had to take over for him. When she refused to accept the offer, Vidic used her family as bait to convince her. If she didn't join him, or them in this case, he'd have her mother and siblings killed. Being as she's not one for confrontation in the first place, she felt she had no other choice but to accept. With this, she does not form strong bonds with people within Abstergo or anyone outside of the industry due to her own fear that if someone got involved with her, they'd end up getting hurt. She also refuses to get close to subjects they had been using. Excuse me, I nearly choked. She didn't want to feel any remorse when they were killed or died. This could count as a tragedy since it affects... Well, it is a tragedy, but it affects her personality directly. It also puts her in a situation later with assassins that she doesn't mean to get into. She didn't want to be the enemy, but wavered between being a Templar because of her family or being with the assassins. This is my last point here for Cursed Soul's OC. Flaws. And no, I don't mean being clumsy. That's not a flaw. This character has no flaws at all. I have never seen one in her. I've gone through her stories. There is never a flaw mentioned. Not even all the angst could count as a flaw at this point. She has literally nothing going for her in the flaw department. This annoys me greatly. Flaws are what makes a character realistic. It makes it easier for the reader to relate to the character. It also makes for good points when going through a character's development. But this character is simply a self-insert of what Cursed Soul really wants to be. Probably because she's underconfident and got bullied a lot. Just saying. Last example from one of my OCs. Autumn is one of my newer OCs. She lacks a lot of confidence and is very timid. She doesn't like conflict and rarely has any reason to put up a fight. She has so little confidence in her current situation, which is waking up in a lab facility years beyond what she remembers with some guy waking her up. She'll panic and goes into a submissive mode. She literally needs someone to hold her hand and to be her guide, or she'll fall apart emotionally. She has such little confidence that she has to find any scrap of hope she can to go on, or she'll break. This kind of flaw in personality makes for good development along the way. It's a realistic, rational, and gets readers' attention. They think, hey, this girl is really like a person. She's just like someone you'd meet on the streets one day. It interests the reader, and they'll go on with a high curiosity to know what's going to happen to this character. How is he or she going to change when they are in a tough situation? How are they going to react? What are they going to do? When I see an OC like Cursed Souls that has literally no flaws, I really don't pay much mind to it. I'm stubborn, however, and this particular OC got on my nerves badly, that I've been trying to get this girl to change for nearly a year. I'd give up, but then she does something stupid again and I try to correct it. Why is it worth my time, you may ask? Well, I do admit I like to see the replies she comes up with, because honestly, most of them don't even make any relevant sense. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my rant, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Have a good day.